Home is a place.
No, no, no. Home is a feeling.
Home is my motherland.
It's more where you feel alive and inspired.
Well, I think we're talking about the same thing, aren't we? Home is where our story begins.
What's your story?
Homesick at Home every Friday from 9 to 10 p.m.
On Radio Van 103.1 with Ina MK
and Rina D.
Shot City, I'm coming home again.
Van, this is Homesick at Home again. We're here in our cozy studio, ready for Christmas with all the decorations.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 ho. Yes, and I'm here with Rina D and, of course, our guest, Vasken Bakkalian. Right?
Good evening.
Good evening.
He looks nervous.
Good evening, Vasken. Yeah, he looks, I think, okay. After all the conversations in the kitchen, I don't know how he feels now.
That's what I was going to say. What have we done to him?
What have you done to him, Rena? I don't
The coffee.
Coffee.
It's
it's all the magic coffee. It's Christmas. Okay, Vasken John, let's start from the very beginning. Where were you born and raised?
Born in Anjar. Anjar is an Armenian town in Lebanon. Used to be 100% Armenians. Now it's not the case. So it's like the majority are not Armenians. But when I was a kid, we used to talk only Armenian. The first time I talked Arabic was like 20 years. I was 20 years old.
Wow.
Besides school, the exams and stuff.
So Little Armenia.
Yes, Little Armenia until mid 2000s. So after the Syrian war, it got changed the status, but still majority like the clubs, the basketball, home and man, everything, the schools, everything is still for the Armenians and the businesses.
So they say if you find two Armenians in one place, there is Little Armenia there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Vasken, tell us about your first experience in Armenia.
First experience in Armenia, I was like a tourist. So like the places I had to visit, I started visiting like Arnikegart and the stuff. Like It was not learning about the country. It was visiting places, meeting friends and stuff. So it was not much ago, like 3 summers ago.
Oh.
First I came to Armenia. We used to love Armenia even before we come. So it was not like there was no question, will you like it or not? Okay. We used to like it. We were raised like loving Armenia. When I first came, it was like all fun, friends and stuff. But as I returned, I started planning. It's a place when I started thinking of relocation after I got home. I started missing. Like 6 months later, I want to go back. That was the feeling.
So you took a part of Armenia with you back.
Yes, we were. I can't say brainwashed, but like back to home, it was like since childhood that there is the mentality of.
You were hypnotized when you came.
All of us, yes. Especially in Lebanon, we used to talk, as I said, only Armenian. My mother used to correct non-Armenian words. We had to speak 100%. That's a good thing. So we didn't forget the other languages we studied, but still we still can talk. Now I talk both languages, both Armenian versions.
The Western
still some.
Yes. Do you speak any Russian words like Rena does?
Yeah.
Stop it. Come on, Rena.
Energichная.
Okay, so Vasken, what made you fall in love with Armenia? What do you think?
It's more than one thing. It's several stuff. Like first, it was more than the expectations in all terms. What can I say? Like, I love the nature, the country itself, the water, the nature, the beauty. This is one thing. The second thing, you're after 27 years coming back. You are Armenian, never seen Armenia. It's like a mental thing. It's like psychological. Mm-hmm. And the people, like the second day, as if you're born here. That was the close feeling you had.
It's
like
interesting how you say coming back.
Yes, from ancestors coming back. That I was never here, but and the people are very. I feel very social. There are different opinions from different people, but maybe I'm exaggerating. But the second day, I just felt the people I meet, I've been raised with them, so it was maybe I was prepared to think like this, but it was so close to me. And sorry. And the last thing, I'm in the IT field, so this industry is booming and was booming and still growing up. So that was another attraction. I was looking forward to bring myself here and establish myself, my company.
In this sector. You said it was more than my expectations. So what were your expectations?
Like some people come and they say like, there are beautiful stuff, but not much to do. That you can't find a job, you can't make a business. Maybe 10 years ago it was like more difficult for people like me, or even with much bigger budgets to bring a business here. Maybe the system regime was different. I don't know. But when I came here, it was everything is easy. We can do everything. We can stay here. We can find a job, a well-paid job. We can establish something, or even with the local peoples feel so close that we are the same people, no difference. So the expectations were like, it's difficult. It was much easier than we thought.
So misconceptions. There were a lot of misconceptions.
Wrong opinions. People think maybe limited. In the end, I think everyone has to bring value, not wait for something magic to happen here. So we have to bring something here.
Very true.
What do you think about the culture shocks people have here? Did you have any?
It's fun. It's fun for me because the words, mainly the words, like
the dialect. You mean?
Yes, the dialect. Like we were going to Arveran, and there is the word get. What is it? Until we understand each other, like I have to try the Omanish. We say the different synonyms until we find the common word we all know. We studied in school the synonyms. Yeah. So this is something.
And the gestures will also help.
And there's something important when we move our heads like this. It's no.
Yes.
Here it's not no. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's.
So what is that, Ina? I don't even know what that is.
Maybe.
Yes. It's like maybe.
I think she's improvising.
Yeah. I'm trying to be original.
Okay, so you were just talking and you said when you came here and then went back home. So now, since you are here, where do you consider home?
Now, I consider here home, but we can't neglect like Anjar, where we used to live.
The birthplace.
And still my parents and most of my friends are still there. Still there is the Armenian community, the events, the cultural similarities we have, like the New Year events, families visiting each other, the food. Like there was no the big difference. There was some differences. Still we will miss Anjar and Lebanon in general, but I see Yerevan as a much better place than Beirut, because here everything is fast, it's easier, it's more relaxed.
Are you serious? Fast?
The fast got me.
The traffic, you have to wait in the car like 3 hours here. If it's traffic that people complain, it's like 40 minutes maximum. 40 minutes there.
Compared to Lebanon.
It's like there was no traffic.
Yeah.
Well, don't know about traffic, but we need to go on an advertisement break, which is
That's
also
traffic.
fast. And we will be back in our studio in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. This is Homesick at Home. Our guest is Vasken. He's an IT specialist, and he's got a story to tell about his life. Rena and I will stay with you till 10 o'clock. Rena, make yourself at home.
But Ina, Yerevan is already my home.
But I mean Radio Van.
You mean a home within a home?
Homesick at Home on Radio Van 103.1. Join us every Friday. Homesick at Home. Yes, we're here in the studio, and we're here till 10 p.m. So if you have any questions to our guests, you can go ahead and write your comments under our live broadcast video, which is on our official Facebook page, also our website, which is www.radiovan.fm. And also, I'd like to remind our listeners that you guys can download our application and listen to us anywhere you go around the globe. So our guest is Vasken, and we are discovering his story. How did you earn your first salary, Vasken?
How did you hear or
earn your very first salary in life?
Oh my! I was too young. I think
you were too
young. I used to work with my uncles, so I was maybe 13 years old or something like this.
And what were you doing?
I have 4 uncles. Each one has its own business. So I started as a blacksmith. I used to be all black all day, come home and my mother complained. So it was tough work, but I liked, since they are very joking people and my relatives, and we were like 7 kids. And there was the mentality also, they are creating like jobs for the Armenian kids after school. I used to go like 3 hours a day. It was tough work for an after school, not a waiter, not something like blacksmith. You have to lift heavy lifts, but it was fun. I think like 6 years until I graduated, I lived in Anjar. That was the main job. In agriculture with my other uncle also. I used to plant. He has his business in tomatoes and stuff. It was like village works, not related to computers, anything.
Anything connected with tomatoes is good for me. So do you remember the salary actually? How much was it?
Now, since they were my uncles, they used to pay
too little?
Like more. But it was like $40 a week.
Oh, not bad.
I had to take like 20. The other kids took 20. It was not nice, but it was nice from my uncle, you know.
This is an Armenian thing. Okay, Vasken, you mentioned hard work and your experience in this first job. And yes. What do you think does a man need to become mature?
He has to live for a reason first. So we have to live not just to have fun, or like the reason might be like you have to leave something behind you, even besides family and children. You have to do something and like leave your mark, leave a legacy, or how can I explain? Like if you die one day, people have to remember you, not because you are their grandpa or something. Some other people have to remember you. Like,
so you think that each person has a certain
has a mission? Yes, has a mission, and everyone has to do his best because time is limited, and we cannot just come and eat and die. And we have to do something to our nation, to our family, and the world in general.
So you found your mission in IT, right?
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit more about this?
My mission in IT. So first, I started as an electric engineering student at NDU after school, because my dad is a physics teacher, still he is, and I had to be good in physics because
because I had to.
It would have been a shame, you know.
And there is something genetic, I think. The family think business. my dad and his brothers, my uncles. So I had no choice. We have to go towards physics and engineering. I chose electric engineering.
But
I was good.
It wasn't your choice at the end of the day.
Then I started as a part-timer at a company in Lebanon. I started loving coding and websites and applications. I started loving more technology.
You discovered that.
Yes. And it was like 1 year less as education. I wanted to start a professional career earlier. So I was thinking that this is I like more. It's still, you need thinking, you need like it's kind of communication or computer engineering, you can tell. It's still not bad. I'm not going towards language or or arts. I'm still in the same industry, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the environment there, all everything about technology.
So you switched your...
Yes, not after a year. I didn't lose much because the first semester you take general math, English, and those stuff, and switched to CGA. That's computer science, but with an emphasis of animation and graphics. So it was a mix. I wanted to know about the 3D world and gaming and mobile games. And that time only NDU provided the exact major I was looking for. So I was at NDU, switched the major to CGA and started, and still continued working besides university.
And later on, how did that develop? How did you start in this sector?
Later on, I had to work other jobs as well for income, because Beirut is much more expensive than many cities, you can tell. I used to work as sales at a mall.
Sales rep.
Watches. I used to sell watches. And then after I graduated, I had to take a little break, let's say. I graduated back to Anjar, because I used to go once in 2 months, I think, to see my parents, because it was 7 days work and university and preparations. And then I quit all the jobs, went back to Anjar to kind of relax, like 4 years of hustle. And someone recommended me from my classmates in the university to a company, game development company in Jounieh, another city in Lebanon. So I went there, the interview was good, and there was back to Beirut in November. So I graduated June. I could be back in Anjar in like 4 months with parents. Again, back to Beirut, the city life, and rented in Jounieh, and there was more hard work, because in university you think you know everything, but it was 16, 15 working hours at that company. That's where, and there was difficult missions I had to do, so I liked the job more, and in work started figuring out. I was happy I chose the right major when I was working.
So you're happy with what you chose?
Yes, that's one of the great decisions I've made for career. This is the thing I like, and I'm doing.
And I have a question regarding this. So you're one of those lucky people who found something that he enjoys doing. What would you recommend others who are searching how to find your so-called mission in life?
Now, if you're young, you can do mistakes, you can change, you can do everything. You can't change your career. Maybe you can, but it's much more difficult in your 30s to change. But when I changed from electric engineering to computer science, I mean, it didn't matter those 2 courses I lost, for example. I'm using the major, I'm in the industry until now. So I lost like, my dad lost some money for the change major. I lost half a year, maybe a semester, but it was nothing. When you're 18, you can do mistakes. You have to change, you have to search for it.
Oh, we hear the fireworks outside.
Yes.
I guess it's the tree.
The opening, yes.
Vasken, so you would recommend people not to be afraid of making mistakes and just dare trying
especially
new
when
things.
young, yes.
Yeah.
So do it at a young age, better.
Yes, better in the 30s, yes.
Yes. Okay, Vasken, can you name 5 things you love about Armenia?
5 things I like. I can name 500, I think. But
Go ahead. Choose the top 5.
We still have 35 minutes, so I think we can make it.
I like. Let me say this thing about Yerevan first, and in general about Armenia. Yerevan is, you can still live not in too much metropolitan. You can like be 10 kilometers away from the center, still in nature, still have less noise, less stress. And be in the city in 15 minutes maximum, as like nothing gets wrong. Maybe nothing Gomidas, but a little. If you move like upwards, I don't know, many regions, it's relaxed. Like you're living in a town and the city at the same time, just driving or taking a taxi, which is also cheap. 10 minutes, you'll be at work, and as I said, Beirut, you have to think about location too much. And in Yerevan, you don't have to think. Like anywhere in Yerevan is the same, 5 minutes more or less. This is like, it's practical for us. I can be here, I can be another place in 10 minutes. No hours, no waste of time.
So we shouldn't complain about the traffic jam and stuff. Everybody's been grumpy this last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been
it's impossible to drive. We're all late. It's traffic jam. Yeah, but it's Christmas
We'll
time,
call
so
Vasken.
it's normal.
He'll remind us.
Do you have a motto in life?
Is it too much different from what we, like the mission we had, or?
It's like a quote,
A
favorite
saying
quote
that you go by.
that goes with your philosophy.
Now, there are different philosophies. One thinks it's hard work, one thinks it's, I don't know, you have to be smart or whatever. I think it's the package. So I don't focus on just hard work, because the hard workers maybe making $5 an hour or $1 an hour. It's not the hours count. So you have to think as a package. You have to be smart, you have to be kind, you have to be like, I don't focus on just one thing and I say it's only hard work that makes you successful, or I don't think it's the color or race. It's like everything as a package. You have to look at something in all angles. That's how I believe.
So adopt the package.
Yeah.
Yes.
Download
or
the
look from
please
all
find
perspectives.
Yeah, that's it. Download the package. For you, that should do. Yeah, I like that.
The second thing I like, or
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
there were 5. The second thing I like, it's more related to art, and especially when it comes to everything in art. Like in the weekend, I prefer to go and listen to Rena live singing, and instead of like the teenage years where there is a DJ and electronic music, like when you grow up, Yerevan has more value to bring. So, and again, it's quick.
So Yerevan is a city for old people. I understand.
I'm not old, but like there is art everywhere, every day, even if weekdays. You can have fun with quality, not just have fun with drinks, with art and real, like it's world class music everywhere I hear. Like it's a small pub, but giving you like quality in. Like I've been amazed. Like I've seen Led Zeppelin maybe on YouTube. I've seen other characters, but the same quality of music from different bands here. So my dad would love this city as the same way I do, because those bands we used to watch on YouTube, now it's like 100 meters away. There's someone live. It's real, yes, it's real.
So you're planning to
relocate them? Yes.
Parents here?
When my dad, first, my
By
dad
the way,
if moves.
hello. You can say
They say hello if they're
Hello.
listening, watching.
I think yes, my sister is doing the setup. So
hello and warm hugs from Yerevan.
And we're waiting for you guys.
Yahoo!
Sure, both my mother and my dad will both love Armenia, but especially for the last thing I said, he watches the YouTube videos still until today. I know from the Google account, we use the same Google account. The last recommendation is like Deep Purple. Oh, this is my dad watching Deep Purple.
What a cool dad.
Yeah.
So I know from the Google account what he's watching, and it's all about concerts of the 5-6 popular old band 70s.
Okay.
So this is his city, and sure, my mom also she raised us Armenian more because she was the one. Don't tell that word. There is the Homanish in Armenian. So both will love the city.
So your parents haven't visited Armenia?
No, still they love it without visiting, but still.
Okay, and how do you motivate your friends or family and others to come to Armenia? What do you tell them?
First,
He's actually quite good in doing that, you know.
Yes, I exaggerate the good things. I just don't talk about anything.
About the bad thing.
I don't see it myself. So
people come here and like, what? Where's the sea, the ocean?
I take them to Sevan. This is the small sea we have, so just have fun with it.
Make do. you can have a lot of other things, you know.
I can motivate them in different. First, I don't have too much to motivate because everyone is coming from my friends. The majority have the same perspective maybe as I do, but I'm exaggerating it because the stuff I'm looking for there are minor stuff which I don't need to be like perfect everything. It's not heaven. It's heaven, but it's not heaven at the same time. I don't expect to be 100% everything.
Well, there are minuses anywhere.
Anywhere, yes.
So
I'm not looking into the minuses.
Okay, what is your childhood memory?
Childhood memory in?
The best childhood memory that you can think of now.
I mean, this guy has started working since he was 13. What childhood are we talking about?
Led Zeppelin, maybe?
No, Anjar is the place to have the real childhood.
Ooh.
Like we used to work to have pocket money for the traditional khorovats and stuff to afford. Because if you tell your dad khorovats, give me for the second day, give me $10 more for khorovats, they will get worried. Like you're 15 and you started drinking, but you have your own cash and you can do anything with. So I started. Still, I used to take from them after that years, but still, I made my own cash. But we used to spend all of it, then go to that.
Okay, for the extra. Yeah.
Childhood memories. Sorry.
Yeah.
There is in sports also. There is in like with friends the moments. I can remember some games. I used to play basketball since young age. Like some good memories there. Some good matches. I can remember the ones we won maybe only. So.
So you didn't have the possibility to continue basketball?
Several reasons. First, the overloaded schedule in university, then some injuries that I didn't take care of because we were playing at a local Homesick club, and kids now have their own doctors, their own several physicians to not move, and we used to start immediately playing, and you have to prepare half an hour. So I had a serious injury in my knee several times. So I'm still playing, but it's a hobby. Then when I had the injury, I started to train the kids of our village.
Coaching.
Yes, it was not, I can't say a high professional job, but it was like a passion doing for the kids, because the big ones had their own coach professional. The kids were like just shooting the ball. We made a committee with the club, and we were 6 friends. I did the coaching, someone else did the financing, and yes, we made the committee, and now they have teams for all ages. It still continues. Someone else is doing our job.
So this you were doing for fun, I understand, because it was a passion. Nowadays, what do you do for fun?
I'm still playing basketball. I'm planning to continue more like half a professional way, because there are second division teams here. Maybe I can I'm still 30. I believe I'm 20, so
that's great.
I have to lose like 15 kilograms to play, but I'm still playing twice a week. As I said, there's the music part I enjoy in Yerevan, and especially in autumn there is discovering the country. So we have to be many places, like north, south. There is too much nature to discover. I have been too many places, but still too much to discover. Sundays we go somewhere new, never been before. So we started in the most popular place, discovering Tavush Mars and Dilijan and what's Ichevan, and we started going. I stayed in Gümri for 10 days in last winter.
So far, do you have a favorite place in Armenia?
Favorite place? Several, but I think there is the road from Zagatsur to Hankavan. All the villages. We were doing this summer. We were doing like our Sundays barbecues there. Every time discovering a place. Too much lakes. A friend, for example, who draws, is taking his tools with him. He's drawing. Another one is playing the guitar. I'm doing the barbecue.
And playing basketball.
So when you say we are discovering this group that you have, are they all from the diaspora, or do you have local Armenians?
This summer, yes, they were, because I had to take them as friend. I'm living here now, so where do you know? Yes,
okay.
I was like a tourist guide already. Where do you know? And I was picking the place I don't even know, so that I enjoy as well.
He's pulling a smart one on them.
Arveran is also nice. So Dilijan is always the first place to go. Like if we haven't planned, we go somewhere in Dilijan. And summers, I prefer the summers because it's 40 here, like 32.
It's much cooler.
It's much cooler.
So besides khorovats barbecue, do you have a favorite dish? Armenian.
My mom's dolma, which we call it sarma.
Sarma?
Sarma, yes. The ones with the grape leaves, the small ones.
Is there
I
meat
like it too
inside?
much.
Yeah.
Meat?
There are the two types. I like it too much at a level that I'm bringing them. She's preparing and I'm bringing them with me, because I've tried everywhere, but that's, I don't know, maybe I'm used to it, but I've tried with many
Mom
people.
cooks the best, always.
But her sarma is like the peak. Sarma can't be any better.
Vasken, you talked about your father a lot. I sensed that there's this
And
connection.
now we know about your mom.
Sarma.
The Sarma lady. Who has played a significant role in your life?
Sure, both. I mean, I can't tell something one-sided because it's wrong.
I think Reina means in general.
In general. I mean, not
your-
only your
Not
parents.
relatives' parents.
Yeah.
There are several people. Like, for example, the CEO I had in the company I worked, most of the guys didn't love him. I don't know why, because he was someone tough. But I was thinking, if I have to become someone like him, this is the character I have to look like. So he was not tough, but if the guys were messing around, he has the right to tell them, stop it, we have deliveries, we have deadlines.
Yeah.
And he was the one who was working like 20 hours a day, and he was the CEO. So the most hardworking one was the owner. So they didn't see the hardworking part of that man. They saw the toughness. I started thinking I have to look what he's doing so that I can copy his moves. He's someone successful. The company I worked for 3.5 years. There are people I've never met them. Like, if you consider hard work, the basketball player Kobe Bryant, for example, he is the most obsessed human being that can ever live. So he has like books, he writes. Now he retired, so he has videos and his mindset and his preparation. It's like, besides basketball, his life is like a blueprint of how someone should work to be there, like to be the best
Hard
player of
worker.
the decade, not just a year, for example.
Before we go to the next question, we have a couple of notes, comments for Vasken. Joseph Kaskanyan says, Ayo, Vasken. So, hello, Joseph.
Hello, Joseph.
Your aunt, Nora, says, I'm so proud of you. I wish you many success. God bless you, my nephew. Thank you, Nora. Hello, hello. From
Hello.
Homesick at Home. Hope you guys are enjoying our show, and thank you for your comments. And Vasken, I'd like to ask you, what would you change about yourself?
Change about now, or if I've done something in the past?
No. I mean, something in your character or something you're trying to work on, but it's still...
I already worked on it, so
So you're perfect.
not perfect, but it's
Semi-perfect.
it's the like
Semi-perfect.
changed
Almost
version.
perfect.
I can't be perfect. Nobody
Getting
can.
there.
But it's somehow the changed version now. So I used to be different like 4 years ago. Too much fun, too much wasting time, too much everything. It was more about fun. Now it's like I can have fun twice a month, because I have plans. I have things to do.
So maybe this is what you need to change.
But
I need more
Don't
fun.
do that to the guy. Come on.
I need
Rena
more fun.
remembers
Okay?
I was the first one sitting waiting before her when she used to sing. Last winter, I don't remember myself working the whole December and January.
Yeah.
Because New Year is 2 months here. So
Yeah.
we had fun for 2 months.
Yeah, that's right.
What's your sign?
Sign?
Horoscope.
Horoscope.
We did it.
There are two ones, the months, right? It's
Yeah,
Cancer,
the
July,
It's
Cancer.
Cancer.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Romantic Cancer.
Are you romantic?
I have to ask my girlfriend. I think yes.
Call her. No.
I think yes. I think yes. That's
She
good
used
enough.
to say like this, but I think yes.
What makes you nervous? Angry?
Other than being here on this show.
No, he's not.
No.
Are you enjoying the show?
Yes, sure. Why not?
Cool.
Sure.
Great. So what does make you nervous?
Not much stuff. I just remove.
Angry?
Too little.
What is it?
I don't think like. I don't listen. I just don't pay attention to what makes me nervous because it's a distraction and waste of time.
So what is it that you don't pay attention which makes
Like-
you nervous?
He's stubborn.
I have to think more for your question now. So what makes me nervous?
Okay, what would you change?
You're making him nervous.
No,
This is what I
it's a
think.
nice question.
No, I'm
but I have to think.
We make people think in the studio. Discover yourself only in 1 hour. Homesick at Home.
Exclusive.
Okay, so
What is the most exciting thing about your work?
The challenge, the new things. Like you can't sleep for 1 week and come up and there's nothing new. Like Android and iOS change. Like I will go and check there is something new in there. So you have to be updated.
All
You
the
can't stop any single Sunday. You have to be updated. What's new? You have to be up to date. Someone else is doing the same. So there is too much competition. Too
What
much
about the
technology.
Sunday barbecues?
Mhm.
What about the Sunday barbecues?
I already missed them since the weather got cold, so
Okay.
I'm in hustle mode more now. Summers I can't do
hey,
anything.
come on, arrange a barbecue for this guy.
He's doing the Android thing. I can't.
No, summers we have to because everyone
He'll
is
have
here.
virtual barbecue.
Okay, so can you tell us more about the company you have or what you do right now in
or
Yerevan?
how we started, or
Okay.
Aim
So-
Tech, yeah.
AIM Tech.
yes,
This guy has like aim and targets and stuff. It's everywhere. you
And
know?
the technology, Aim and Tech. Okay,
yeah.
go
First the word I tried to make a word which is easy and easily remembered. So
Catchy.
yes. So and she explained better than me. So I don't have to explain it again. First, I started as a freelancer because I had, maybe you know the games of Hamaskain, the children games of Lala and Ara. So I started those. There were like 4 projects. I was motivated. I can quit my job. It's like I have job for more than 1 year. It was a good start as a freelancer. I quit my job and started. I just got a project which is not my job actually, so I had to look for someone else who can do it for me. I can just monitor and manage the project. First time I tried with a theme not in Armenia. It was not a good quality. I lost some amount and I had short deadline, like a month. So I was just searching in LinkedIn. I just heard that in Armenia development and mobile application development is rising and it's booming. I said let me try and it might be a reason I can visit.
Okay.
And it was like a motivation. And I just found a contact. His name is Vartan. So I just talked with him like 2 calls and we agreed because I had no time. I thought it was a risk. So I just sent an amount and they started working. and they delivered quality and in time. So I was happy first. Like in the other nation, they didn't provide me. The Armenians are good in.
It was like, yes, we did it.
Yes, and it was yes for the project to be successful. Later on, just came and met him in person, and we discussed how we can improve this, how we can take more projects together, expand this. His team was 3, including himself. They were 4. Now my and his team, we all do together. We are 12. So over 2 years, we tripled. So our company has now 12 developers. And we have done like 7 projects, not only for Lebanon, like Lebanon and the Arabic countries, because of connections. And it's expanding.
Was it hard to work in a company again after being a freelancer?
Now, if you're running a company, as I remember the old CEO, I said you have to be on Sundays again. If not, it's September and not in Dilijan. Now we are, because you had to remind me of that. Now we just go. Maybe 1 or 2 employees will come who are more motivated, but you can't force the employees. We have to do the more work. We have to be there at nights, because you have to be at some point the HR, at some point the customer support, and if there is something difficult, still being technical, and everything you do, it's like 10 or 12 jobs at the same time, because you can't bring someone, have 50 employees the first year. You have to multitask. So that's more difficult, and that's the thing challenging in learning more reading and
being up to date more. Yes. So do you see that the IT sector in Armenia is booming? Because you've been talking about this a lot.
I think it's gonna be better and better each and every year because of several things. Because first, the reputation worldwide of Armenia in this sector is getting
really good.
Better. Now, in these countries, when I say these countries, not the very highly paid. Let's say there are developers in the US and in Japan, but the hourly rate is like $40 an hour, $50 an hour. I'm not talking about those countries, but the middle countries. Recently, Armenia and Belarus are the 2 countries being talked about as in quality work. So there are many border countries. All Eastern Europe has this sector improving, but it's really good to have this reputation. Like people from outside trust a team in Armenia, means we have to have quality in the work. And too many young, like 12 to 16 years, like institutions like Tumo Center and many others smaller, since there is high salary in this, parents are motivating their parents. Like every time I come with Gigi, I simply ask just to know how old is your son. If he tells 12, like 90%, he's studying in something in this industry. Like the next generation is preparing 5 times the amount of developers we have now.
Wow.
That's a great story.
We don't have a sea. We have internet, a good internet connection.
Yes,
so we don't need the sea in this industry.
Who cares about the sea?
We're going to leave you guys for a couple of minutes, and this is an advertisement break coming. We'll be back, and we'll have another 5-6 minutes with our guest Vasken. Stay tuned. This is Homesick at Home with Rina D and myself.
Ռեն, խի ուշացար, պրիտոմ չզանգեցիր, պրոպկա էր։
Հայերեն խոսիր հասկնամ։
Ռեն, ինչու ուշացար, ընդ որում չզանգահարեցիր, խցանում էր։ Ինչեր? Never mind.
Չէ, ասե ինչեր։
This isn't gonna work. Typical repeat.
Oh, here she goes again.
And I'll be doing it every Friday with you on Radio Van. Homesick at Home.
So we're back in the studio, and even under torture, Vasken never admitted what makes him nervous or angry. But still, we have another question that he hasn't answered, so maybe now he will.
Remind me, what's the question?
What would you
The
change?
one you avoided.
Okay, do you have phobias?
Phobias? I don't think I have no negative attributes. I think. No, I'm kidding. Phobias? No, maybe the big cockroach. I live.
A very big one.
Yes,
I
that's
found
for my
someone
mother
like
because
me.
that's her phobia. Just telling that for her.
Okay.
When she sees that cockroach, Aram, Aram, all the neighborhood like hears the Aram, Aram.
It's
Aram
like
is the
that
cockroach
size?
killer. My dad.
Yeah, they have really huge cockroaches in
No,
Lebanon.
in Anjar we have the beautiful ones because they are Armenians, Armenian cockroaches.
Armenian cockroaches.
Yeah, in Beirut they are the huge ones.
Yeah,
Sure,
they're
they are
too
not
big.
the
Armenian
Armenian ones.
cockroaches wear taras, maybe. That's how they find out that they are Armenians. Do you believe in fate or luck?
Too little in luck. Because if you do something and fail, you have another chance, and multiple chances. So if it didn't work out, you can. If you tell you're unlucky, just limiting yourself. So just try another one.
So never blame destiny. It's all
No. I
in
don't.
your hands.
I don't blame. I don't tell people who are blaming they are weak. Maybe they have tried like 12 times and it didn't work out. So their patience got over because it's too much. Their luck has to appear somewhere else, maybe at the 15th time. It needs too much patience, too much energy. But I don't believe somewhere it's gonna appear. It needs too much energy to wait for it. Not only wait for it, I mean work for it and wait for it. So I just don't believe in luck. Maybe 90% it's not luck. There is some luck somewhere, yes. Like I can win the lottery, yes, but I just don't believe this is the thing I'm waiting for it.
Okay, great answer. Thank you.
Do you ever buy the lottery since you don't
No, my
believe in
dad
luck?
buys it for me, but
Okay.
I told if you're gonna
There is
win,
a joke like that. Have you heard about it? A person is praying to God. He says, please, I want to win $1 million. I want to win $1 million. And he does that for years and years. And once God's patience is just over and he cracks the sky and says, buy a lottery, you idiot. I didn't even want to buy the lottery. So with this a joyful and funny note, we're about to end our show because it's only 1 minute left. Thanks to Vasken for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
It was a great show. And we will be getting ready for Christmas. Next Friday will be our last show. And maybe we will have a surprise for you guys. So make sure you don't miss the show. Tune in next Friday from 9 to 10. Our last issue of this year.
Ho.
Yeah. Wishing you a great Friday night. Amazing weekend. Take a good care of yourself. And just remember, everything is in your hands. So no blaming the destiny. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the weekend.
Bye-bye, Vasken.
Bye.